Welcome back to Living Local. It is time to check in once again with Movie Mike for what's new in theaters. Mike Schulz, arts editor for the River Cities Reader, joins us for a review of some of the movies released last week and a preview of the ones opening this weekend.
Indeed. Yes.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Always. Always. So we'll start with last week's movies. We talked about two of them last week, Breakthrough and Penguins.
We did.
We kind of got the reviews there. Penguins you got to see, pretty much.
Penguins you got to see.
Yeah.
75 minutes of Penguins. That's it.
Lovely,
Go.
lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
But two of them that you just saw that we didn't get to talk about. We'll start with The Curse of La Llorona.
The Curse of La Llorona, yes. The latest horror film in the Conjuring universe, because everything's a universe these days. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's based on Mexican folklore about this woman who drowned her children and then immediately regretted it. And when she tried to get into heaven, they wouldn't let her in unless she brought the kids with her. She couldn't find the kids, so now she's after your kids. This is how she's going to get in there. And so the movie, it's got some good scares. It's got a great central performance by Linda Cardellini, wonderful actress, an Avengers wife, as a matter of fact. Come to think, Hawkeye's wife.
Yep.
Linda
Right
Cardellini. So she's good, but the problem is the movie kind of keeps reminding you that it could be better. The basic folklore story itself is really fascinating and creepy, and the movie just kind of keeps dropping it by going back to kind of Conjuring style comedy when you don't necessarily need it, and a lot of CGI jump scares that really aren't that scary. And it also, it also kind of ruins its best potential scary moment by Linda Cardellini has two kids who both get kind of attacked by the ghost, but they don't tell anybody about it because they're so freaked out about it. And so the authorities start thinking that maybe these kids are being abused by Linda Cardellini, and she's like, oh no, it's a ghost, and not coming off terribly convincing. But they let that drop, and so they kind of have a whole bunch of really good balls in the air, and none of them really play out. It's a disappointment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad.
Not terrible, just not great.
Right. The Conjuring series kind of has a reputation for pretty good horror films.
The second Annabelle movie is great. The first Conjuring is great, but this one just doesn't quite live up to it. So it's too bad.
People still see
there
that
will
they
be
like
more
horror.
coming. I'm sure. It's a universe now, so there'll be plenty more.
Alrighty. Well, you want to catch this one pretty quickly here because it's probably going to be gone soon.
Yeah.
And we'll take a second to beat up on it a little bit from what I hear.
Okay.
Teen Spirit.
Teen Spirit. Yeah, I wanted to like this a lot more than I did because I like Elle Fanning a lot, and she plays basically a contestant, a Polish girl living in England who joins this American Idol-y kind of competition. She can sing like gangbusters. She's got a beautiful voice. They give her a lot of great pop songs to sing. The problem is that from the first second of the movie to almost the very last second of the movie, she is a mopey drag on the movie. She's just, she's depressed, she's downtrodden, she wants to get this thing, but she doesn't really, well, I don't know what I'm going to do.
So
and
angsty.
I've got, it's so angsty. It drives me crazy. And so you've got these really great kind of uplifting pop songs, and then you're stuck with another 15 minutes of misery with her and her manager who's sad, and her mother who's sad, and her romantic interest who's sad, and it's like, I know it's set in England and it's, overcast there, but come on, lift the mood, please. It was driving me crazy.
I mean, I guess it's appropriate there for a teenage movie. It's
I
angsty,
guess, absolutely. But
how was her accent?
Pretty good.
Interesting.
She's always great.
Yes,
she's solid.
she's talented.
She's worth it. The movie is not. So, yeah.
Take forward. Alrighty.
For what it is.
Well, we have two movies opening up this week, and relatively small films. We'll start with a relatively small performer, Aretha Franklin, and a documentary about...
she was apparently some kind of not bad singer.
Not bad.
In her day.
Yeah, that's what we hear.
Yes, this is, I can't wait for this. This is Amazing Grace.
Yes.
This is playing at Film Scene in Iowa City. This is the concert film showing the recording of her seminal gospel album, Amazing Grace, from 1972. And so this was filmed in 1972. The director was Sidney Pollack, who was an Oscar-winning director of Out of Africa, did Tootsie, did a whole bunch of phenomenal films, was a great actor too. But unfortunately, back in 72, they had a major technical malfunction where they could not get the sound and the images to sync in any way, and usually that isn't that hard a process. You keep at it, but they worked at it for years and couldn't do it. Finally, about 10 years ago, they got a new sound team in who looked at all the footage and got the audio track, and they were able to make it happen. But by that time, Sidney Pollack's estate said, no, we don't want this movie released for reasons passing understanding. And so only last fall was it finally able to come out on a couple of screens for a film festival to see if there was any interest in releasing it, and there certainly was, because it's 90 minutes of Aretha Franklin singing.
Yeah.
So of course there is. So I can't wait. I'm super excited. It's going to be just 90 minutes in her presence again.
Yeah,
please.
I think it probably timing-wise couldn't have worked out any better.
It really does seem incredible.
Taste,
Absolutely, just to remember how much she meant and continues to mean, and 2 minutes of that trailer, I'm already a bawling wreck, so I think I'm going to be a mess for this.
And you love seeing that. Me personally, I love seeing the classic footage as well from the 70s.
Absolutely, for sure. And that album is, of course, just miraculous. So, I can't wait.
A little step back in time.
Yeah,
and it'll be nice to have something serious to oppose it's like a comic book movie or something coming out this weekend.
What's this called?
Avengers Endgame.
Endgame. Okay. Avengers Endgame is apparently a work in this, I guess, comic book series, you call it?
So.
By something called Marvel, which is nice. There's apparently
Silly
22 of these things that have been made in the last 12 years. This is the very last one.
It's here.
Yes, it is.
It's the end.
In our previous installment of Avengers Endgame, the villain named Thanos destroyed half of all life on the planet, including a great number of our superhero allies who we've been with for years and years. And so this one kind of brings the old guard back to see if we can resuscitate them or destroy Thanos or make everything better somehow.
Who knows?
So we've got Thor's back, we have the Hulk, we have Iron Man, we have Captain America, we have Black Widow, we have, I think that raccoon is back from Guardians. There, he's back. And so it's kind of a gang's half here adventure that runs apparently 3 hours and 1 minute.
3 hours long.
That's a long movie.
Are you prepared for that?
I'm okay for it. I mean, Titanic is a little over 3 hours. 10 Commandments is like 17 or 18 hours long, as I recall. I mean, it never matters really how long a movie is. It just matters how long it feels. So as long as it zips by, and at the end of the day, man, that cast. I mean, seriously, it's easy to take for granted that we are watching movies that have Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson and Jeremy Renner and Mark Ruffalo, and I mean, it's like it goes on, and Chadwick Boseman and Lupita Nyong'o.
The cast list.
You're killing
incredible.
me. Seriously. So it is going to be, I think, a little heartwarming and sad probably to see this come to an end.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was in early high school when Iron Man came out.
I just stopped talking.
The very first
That's
one.
Just irritating to me.
Sorry about that.
No,
Anyways,
it's all right.
But to see it finally come to an end. The end game.
Seriously. I mean, that's the thing. You've been living with these people for so long now. I mean, like when the Harry Potter series ended, of course, too. That was also 10 years of watching these characters that you've come to feel like you know, at least, in these huge, epic, adventures. Yeah, it's going to be an emotional time, I think. Hopefully with some good visual effects and hopefully a joke or two, because it didn't end very happy, the last one.
I think it's going to be a little serious, but I'm sure that there will be, obviously, the joking. And I think it doesn't really matter how good it is. I think it'll still break records either way. But
for sure, absolutely.
I'm
but
things.
fingers crossed, because the preview footage looks fantastic.
Yeah, and you've avoided spoilers. I've avoided spoilers.
That's
as
right.
Well. The Russo brothers who are directing it, they want you to avoid spoilers. As far as some people release spoilers online, that's just not a cool thing to do.
Oh, totally not. Yeah,
No.
and you sometimes just accidentally run into them, and that's when it's really irritating.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of avoid all postings after an article, because I'm like, somebody is going to ruin something for me.
Yeah.
Most journalists are pretty good about saying, yeah, I get it. Don't send me letters.
Right. Starting tonight through Saturday at 7 o'clock when I'm seeing it, I will not be on social media.
Just go to your room under the covers and just don't come out for 2 days. You'll be fine.
It's usually what I do on the weekends anyways, so it's all good. All right. Thanks so much for being here, Mike.
Hey, my pleasure. You bet.
Interview, the new movie's coming out this week. There it is, Avengers Endgame, and of course, Amazing Grace. Please don't forget about that one in film scene in Iowa City. And you can read Mike's movie reviews inside the latest reader on stands everywhere and online at rcreader.com. We'll post all this on our website, rquadcities.com. We're back with more Living Local after this.